think it's something like 80% of the UK citizens has less than like £500 in their bank account.
In a world where financial dreams come true, enter Kevin, the master of wealth and prosperity's guide. He pioneers investments, strategizes savings, and paves your path to growth. Join us on a journey to financial liberation, inspired and guided by Kevin, your financial confidant.
My own like personal investing portfolio went from like 16K to over 6 figures. Less than 18 months of just investing, that was like, okay, I can actually do this.
What were some of the mistakes you were making that a lot of people probably be making the same?
Trying to get rich quick all the time, to be honest. If you want to make money, like, you have to work in order to make it, you know, like taking loads of days off and like, you know, half-assing things isn't going to really get you anywhere. And I don't think people realize that, like, as an entrepreneur, you're probably going to be working way more than you are as like a corporate sort of thing.
You've got a lot of money, and I'm guessing you're around money a lot. What does money actually mean to you?
That's a good question, you know.
Welcome to the CEO of You, where we interview entrepreneurs, goal-getters, and ultimately anyone that wants to improve their life. And today we have another special guest. We have Kevin, also known as Kev.
What's good, boy? Good to be here.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, to be fair.
Nice.
It's took us 10 months to get you on across the world. Where you been?
Yeah,
I've been plotting.
I've been about.
So let's get into it. Let's get started. Kev, we can already hear it on the accent from Ireland. And I just want to know, because obviously we spoke a bit off camera about what it's like in Ireland. Can we get an exact image of what it was like growing up there?
Yeah, I mean, you asked me like it's mad interesting. Like, I can't.
It is mad interesting. Anyone who's not from Birmingham or England,
Yeah,
it's just interesting to
if
see
you're
how
not
you
from
guys grew
Ireland,
up.
you'd be like, oh, okay,
That's true, to be fair. And I think everyone knows Irish people, but they don't necessarily know anything about Ireland.
Conor McGregor, that's what I know.
Yeah, that's my guy, to be honest. Nah, but McGregor, he put us on a map a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
he did.
Yeah,
You got
we
that.
searched for
There's another fighter who's coming through the UFC from Ireland. I'm not sure his name.
I think there is a couple of younger fellas now.
Yeah,
They're all kind of coming.
That's what I'm
from
saying.
that
They're
as
all
well.
coming through now.
Yeah, which is good to see. But overall, there's not a huge amount going on in Ireland, like day to day. Like in my local town, there's like 20,000 people. Activities wise, not a lot to do. So that's one of the reasons that I left as well. So you clocked the Irish accent, but like I haven't been living there for like 7 years, 8 years now. So.
That long, and you still have it.
I still get it, yeah. Like some people can't necessarily place it straight away, but I'm never just gonna completely like anglicize myself. You know, I want to keep. I'm proud to be Irish as well. I do want to keep that in me as well. You know what I mean?
What about like opportunity wise? Is there a lot of opportunities for someone in Ireland to create something for themselves?
To be fair, like one thing I'll say is like Irish people, I think, have a lot of opportunity outside of Ireland.
Outside.
Like the Irish accent did me wonders when I first came over here. Like
Really?
yeah, not so much like job wise or anything, more so on the women.
With the words.
But nah, even like in America and stuff, they all like when I first went there years and years ago, like they all like love the Irish accent, and I think we have a good impression around the world. Like passport wise, it's like the best thing ever. We can get in pretty much anywhere because we never really fucked with anyone too much.
Yeah, you can swear. You can.
Okay, go on. But yeah, inside Ireland, opportunities wise, if you want to do like a 9-to-5 sort of thing, it's actually not bad because in Ireland the corporation tax, so the tax that companies pay to operate there is a lot less than like even the UK, for example. So we pay like 12.5%. But interesting on that actually, Apple not that long ago. They may come for me for this, but it's a known thing. It's a known thing. But like basically, it turned out that they've been operating in Ireland for ages and only paying 1% like tax the whole time. What? So they owed our government billions, like literally enough to completely change our entire economy and like have everyone be like kind of wealthy. It all went to court. Eventually got settled. It was clear they owed us a crazy amount of money, and the Irish government was like, no, it's all right. We'll let you off on that one.
No
You reckon
way.
there was some inside job with that?
Yeah,
100%
facts,
these men like,
facts,
have to be
facts.
getting paid. It doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense otherwise. Like
definitely.
people
Yeah.
in
They're sorted
Ireland-
for life. They are.
people aren't fuming about that for a while, like, but it's because as well, like if they decide to then find all these people, all these companies that were doing that, and there's more than one, then like companies are going to want to come there anymore, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
to do business.
the 12.5% is a huge reason that like a lot of companies like Microsoft, places like that, they all come to Ireland. So it's like it's a good business thing for the Irish economy, I guess. But that decision made no sense to me.
Yes. So I just want to ask, because I'm confused about this. What is the reason, obviously, Ireland is separated from Northern Ireland?
That's a good question, actually, because like one thing I've found is that over the years of just living in England, I've had to explain this like a million
Oh,
times.
one more time.
Because I don't mind, because at least
Yeah.
now people will hear it, you know, and they'll understand. Like, because no one seems to understand really. I don't think it's like so much a part of the English like curriculum as it is.
Nah, I don't-
like that. Our whole history curriculum is based on this, basically.
Oh,
swear.
swear. That's why you know so much. 'Cause
Yeah.
you said it like it was rehearsed.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah.
it's genuinely, it's just like that in Ireland growing up is like you learn the ins and outs of like how we got our independence, basically. So like obviously Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, Southern Ireland is part of the Republic of Ireland. Like even saying that to any Irish person listening is going to be like, duh. But like, trust me, people like don't know that.
Yeah.
One girl asked me one time, what was it again? Oh, she said, is Ireland in England? Like, not even the United Kingdom. She's like, is Ireland in England? I was
Yeah,
like,
she's baffed.
She's
She's baffed. She's baffed.
I'm not surprised though. I'm not gonna lie.
But anyway, like a lot of people don't really realize this, but Ireland was pretty much like colonized, I guess you could say, by the United Kingdom, and we went about like trying to get independence, same as a lot of countries. There was a lot of wars between like the Irish Black IRA, as people will know, and the Black and Tans, which was like the English United Kingdom side. So eventually, you know, that all came to a head, and we were granted our independence. But the however many countries up the top decided that they wanted to stay a part of the United Kingdom, and that's kind of how we came to have Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland.
Okay.
So, is there any conflict between the two? Because I could imagine that, you know, you're Northern, you're from the actual island. You get me? Like,
It's bigger than postcode.
yeah, bigger than postcode.
Yeah,
it's,
bigger
it's nation wars now.
Nah, to be fair, especially because like
Civil
when you
War.
bring in the IRA as well, we're a big part of all of that. And like generally, it's like Southern Ireland, Republic of Ireland is like Catholic based or dominant, and then Protestants in like Northern Ireland. I'm so far south that like it barely was a thing for me, but you'd still come across people who like, you know, if you're in a certain area or whatever, be a bit aggressive about it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
along the border, there was like essentially like civil wars. I'm not even up there nowadays, so like I don't know like how deep it is anymore. But for a while, there was a lot of like bombings either side. Yeah. The IRA, yeah, they were doing up the bombings. That was their weapon of choice, I think. You know, which is peak, but it got us kind of where we wanted to be, I guess.
Is that what them man are?
Facts,
Yeah,
facts.
nah, it's a bit mad.
So
But that's kind of all in the past now, to be honest, for the most part.
So you haven't come in contact with anyone that was like aggressive to you in that way, or
To be fair, I think more so probably over here, but there was one time in Ireland when I was like 16, 17, and I was at like a festival or something, and it was like my first ever festival actually. And this massive guy came up to me and was like, just straight up, was just like, are you Catholic or Protestant? And I was like,
what the hell?
okay, fuck.
Is it that deep?
50-50 chance of getting this right, you know? And yeah, he was basically like, I said I was Catholic at the time. I would have been a lot more Catholic, but yeah, he was like, okay, that's all right then. You know, we don't have to fight.
You don't have to fight.
Like, what the like, I don't even understand how something like that, like, you let that just become your identity, you know, and take it to a degree that you want to like hurt people. All this happened like 100 years ago, you know, like it's nothing to do with us.
Do you think you would have won?
Oh no, he would have killed me. He was like twice my size.
No, that's a tall guy. Then, 'cause
Kev 6'2", you
yeah,
know.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, I was a bit short. I probably hadn't reached like my full height.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know, because you told us behind the scenes that you wasn't interested in finance at all, and somehow you've turned into the guy. You are the go-to guy. How did it start?
That's a good question. To be fair, like one thing that anyone listening to this, if they're from Ireland, they'll agree with. I just know they will. Is like Irish parents will like teach you how to save. Like I was always good at saving money. I was always able to like even if I wasn't making much money, I would still be able to like save a certain amount and not spend it, and I just kind of spend whatever I'd make in a short space of time then. But yeah, like all the way through like school, university, I didn't really even think about any of that, to be honest. I was like investing meant nothing to me.
Did you invest?
Not during those periods, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, nowadays you can invest in yourself. You can invest in anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't even doing that, to be fair. Like, I was saying, like, if someone told me that they had a side hustle when I was in school, or they were like an entrepreneur, you know, like straight away I'd be like, okay, you sell drugs. Like, you know, that's what that meant to me back then.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't see people so much having side hustles and investing and things like that. And I think everyone kind of in their heads was like thinking, okay, eventually I'll get a property, like that's what I'll do, whatever. So yeah, like I think the only good example of any like personal finance habit or like investing that I would have done in those earlier years is like saving my money basically. And yeah, actually to be fair, I was really good at saving. We have something called confirmation in Ireland where it's like a Catholic ceremony, whatever. When you're like 12, 13, they do this whole thing and all your family comes and they bring you money and it's like a whole celebration basically. So I think that was the first time I've ever had money like properly, and that was like 800 euros or so, which was at the time was a big deal. Lads were coming into school with like new watches and shoes and stuff like that. I basically saved that 600 or 800 quid all the way up until like after my A-levels and used it like as my spending money in Magaluf.
Yeah.
And like that's just kind of shows
That's a very
like,
long
okay,
time.
I was actually it was a really long time. Like even looking back now, I was like, I could spend
that would have been done.
spend that in a month.
Lens or something.
And like, don't get me wrong, it's like there's a difference between like saving though and like being like tight. So I would still make money and do what I wanted, but like I knew that like this is my money that I'm saving. And like I think that's like stood to me a lot now because it's like I'm not touching my investments for any sort of expenditure, you know. Like, and also I think what people don't realize is that to be able to invest successfully, like you have to be able to save first, and even alongside.
Why do you say that?
Because if an investment is going to cost you $4,000, right, and you make $4,000 a month, but you have no money saved, like you can't just spend that $4,000 the second it comes in on that investment because you have zero money. Yeah. So like you actually have to be able to save money first, and then you can start to like put it into things basically.
I get you.
But yeah,
I was gonna say, how do you have like the discipline to save? Because I know a lot of people. You said you saved that £700 for like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Wasn't there that one moment that you thought, oh, this is the moment I've been saving for? There's this thing that I really want. What starts you from just
you know what's funny?
Spending a local $2 bills and, you know.
It's not that I wasn't like still spending. It's just like that was savings. I did have that discipline of not spending it, and I think it's because like Irish parents again, like I don't even know I was allowed to spend that. You know, I think that was a forced thing. That was a forced savings. You know,
Okay.
Which is good though. Looking back,
yeah,
at least
true.
they taught me something on the personal finance side of stuff.
So you mentioned something which is interesting. There's a difference between saving and obviously being tight. What's the difference?
So
And if you can't differentiate the difference,
Yeah.
give an example of
Yeah,
what this might
okay.
look like.
So like you can like I think it's about how you start off the month basically. So like whenever I get money in every month, I'll know like what's my disposable income and what's like being used for other stuff. So like it's really easy for me. Like I know how much money I have left, and I'll always leave some so that I have stuff for various things that'll come up. But like if you're saving, and it's actually it's a difficult question because like there's a fine line. But if you have savings and you're just like borrowing money off the mandem, like to go do activities, that's being tight then, you know what I mean? Whereas if you have your savings, you're still able to like pay for yourself and do your own thing. You know, that's fine. That's fine as far as I'm concerned. You know, you can't like be saving and investing off the back of like borrowing money off someone else kind of thing.
That's
never
crazy.
gonna work, like, you know.
That's crazy.
So long as you can pay for yourself and you're still like, and you're not like overdoing it on it being tight, I guess. I think you're fine, really.
One of them.
So tell me about the route that you took, because obviously you just went. In fact, I'm gonna let you speak about it. Just tell us about the route you took.
Yeah, I get you, because obviously I'm over here now and I've been traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I wasn't doing anything in terms of side hustles, businesses, finance, anything up until probably after university. So in Ireland, after school, didn't know what I wanted to do. Your parents, growing up as a white boy in Ireland, like they want you to go to university. That's kind of how it goes, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what else to do, so I was like, all right, let me do that. Career guidance person kind of guided me in like what to do. Genuinely had no like passion for any of the subjects or anything. It was just like, all right, what will make me money when I'm older?
When did you study?
It's like a business, finance, and IT degree. So
Okay.
like kind of like computer science dumbed down and mixed with business. Nah, genuinely though, like some of the stuff was useful, but it's not like I can't just go and code games and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a dumbed down computer science mixed with business. It was a 4-year degree because that's what is kind of the standard in Ireland. Usually here, I think it's like 3
It's
years.
like 3,
yeah,
4 if you do like a placement.
Extra
out there.
placement, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a placement, so there was a 6-month placement in there as well. And for that, I ended up in England for the first time.
How did you find that?
Good, to be fair, because like I was working at the investment bank that I ended up working out after. And again, like I said, never had really that much money of my own. So like getting paid like an actual like grad program or like starting position salary for the first time ever whilst I was still in university was like an absolute game changer for me.
Good money.
Yeah, to be fair, it was pretty good. I'm not like, I don't really know like what market rates are now. But at the time I was mind blown, especially because like the euro to pound like difference was crazy back then. Like I worked for the 6 months, felt like I had loads of money, put it all back to euros and had like double the amount of money, you know. That was like the dream at the time.
That was sick. That was really sick.
So yeah, again during university, I think it was probably what you described as a typical uni.
What does that look like? What does that look like?
So, going to as many classes as I suppose I was bothered to. Lots of partying, drinking, smoking, various fun, but not very much productive or really anything to be like that actually like contributed to my later life, I guess. Except for the fact that like I felt like I've had my fun.
Had your fun,
which is good. And like to be honest, I think it's a mix because you know you see nowadays like everyone's like, oh, you should have a side hustle, you need to have a business, you gotta work, like you need to mash work for this first 5 years out of school and then you'll be like set up or whatever. It's like you're young as well, you have to enjoy life a little bit, you know. And like I think I'm like a good example because I just once I left university I started taking things way more seriously and like investing in money pretty heavily and eventually doing stuff on the side as well. But like I'm in like what I consider to be a really good position for my age, and like I wasn't doing much until like a bit later, like, you know. So it's
that is mad.
Yeah, I think like so long as I think nowadays it's a bit different. You need to do a little bit more like yeah, I would advise anyone that's going to university to like, you know, try a side hustle or
start a side
something.
hustle.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do learn at least about like your finances and investing and stuff. Because even like the thing with investing is, and this is just one of the only piece of advice I'd give anyone regarding investing without like knowing about
Advice?
them.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, not advice.
Disclaimer.
Not advice. This is the only thing I'd probably say is like, genuinely, the earlier you start, like the better. Even if you start when you're young with small amount and then like leave it and never invest again for like months or years, like that small amount will just grow in the meantime and it'll actually make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So the earlier you start,
Compound.
the better. I was just lucky, I think, because I started investing like heavily when I got money, and then
What age was
continued
that?
Probably 24, 25.
Okay.
Maybe 23. Around about 2017 is when I started like properly investing. But yeah, there was a lot of mistakes along the way as well. So that's why I would tell people is come to someone like me who can actually show you what to do like correctly from the beginning, basically.
What were some of the mistakes you were making that a lot of people probably be making the same?
Trying to get rich quick all the time, to be honest.
In today's age, crypto.
That's the thing. So like even crypto was probably the one I started with, and I did make quite a lot of money initially, and then it obviously all went tits up. And I came out with like still quite a bit. Like the main thing is the lesson that I learned though. Like I didn't know what I was doing with cryptocurrency back then, you know. So I went and I actually learned about it, and like now I'm like way better prepared for like that sort of investment. Like if you don't know what something is, like you shouldn't be just loading all your money into it every month.
Yeah, true.
I had a
better
call
do
with
research
someone-
on it.
I literally had a call with him today, just like an opening kind of session. He told me like all his money's in cryptocurrency,
Oh.
and like it was in something I've never even heard of, that like he didn't realize that he couldn't take his money out because of tax harvesting. I don't know what that even is, but he didn't know like the details of like how it was going to be, so he doesn't have any access to it. I don't even know if it's legitimate.
So he's just got money in there that he can't take out.
He
Just
was just
money,
loading money in there as it came. And I'm just like, you need to understand exactly what you're actually investing in, especially at the beginning, because otherwise, like, you can get rich quick. You literally can, but if you know what you're doing, you're way more likely to. You know.
Yeah. So, what advice did you give him? Because you said, was it all his money? What?
Well, pretty much, but he is earning like
Like
as
the-
he goes.
Okay, yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not like the end of the world, and he's young as well. But like, to be fair, he didn't even want like investing advice. Really, he's not really like what my typical client would be. I think like he is only starting to make proper money, and he wants to be like more tax efficient with how he's making money. Basically, he needs to set up like a company or a sole trader or something.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have like, aside from all of that money in crypto, he doesn't really have like savings to be investing. And right now he's focused on cash flow rather than long-term future, I guess. So I didn't advise him really. I helped connect him to an accountant, but I mean, I'm not going to give someone like financial advice, as you'd say, within one call, you know.
Yeah,
Financial-
I hear you.
especially, or anyway, technically.
So that sounds interesting. But I want to ask then. So obviously in that situation, you someone you had to distribute somebody else. What is it a lot of people come to you for when you realize you actually can't help them? Because I could imagine you have a lot of people have the same stuff there. I need to fix this, and you're like, wait, so actually can't help you with this.
So the thing is, and this applies to anything, is that like, especially like with any business, if you have an offer or something that you generally help people with, like, then you know what to do when it comes to that kind of thing. So someone can come to me and say, oh, I want to do X, Y, Z, I want to put my money into various things, I want to, but essentially at the heart of it, they want to like avoid inflation and grow their money. So like sometimes you have to sell someone what they want rather than what they need, and then give them what they need anyway, because the end result that they'll get out of it is what they're looking for. Deep down, they don't realize what it is that's going to get them there, basically. So sometimes you do have to actually just
Get the
you know,
sale.
get that sale.
Get that sale.
But like the thing is, I'm not going to sell you if I don't think that I can help you. You know what I mean? like.
So what are the type of
Okay.
people you can't help?
Well, first of all, let's just say hypothetically, if I charge someone $2,000 or $3,000, right? And you have like $2,000, $3,000 to your name, like I'm taking all your money and not helping you. That doesn't make sense. You know, I would much prefer that you pay me that amount and then have like 10K savings or regular strong income. So like a lot of the time I do only work with like higher income earners or like young professionals, because I want you to see value like straight away. If I don't think that you'll be able to actually apply anything or get like value out of what I actually offer, then it doesn't make sense for either of us, you know.
Yeah.
It's after university.
Oh yeah, so after
You got that
university-
grad job.
Yeah. So after did the internship, got the same kind of grad role basically. So moved back over here.
Is that where you knew you was gonna? Was it that point you knew like, okay, this is it, this is my life? Is that what you thought?
Maybe, but if I thought that, it was like in a sad way, definitely.
Yeah, I was
Saturday,
gonna say
yeah.
that's like
Because like
my next 50 years. The next 50 years, bro.
funnily enough, like, yeah, because I didn't know what I was doing the whole way through. I was like, okay, ended up in this, and like, it's like corporate life isn't that bad if your team and that are actually like nice
Sound,
people, you know,
yeah.
like, and like some of the lads that I was working with are legends, like, you know, they were genuinely really fun. So like, it wasn't too deep, and I was kind of learning a lot as well. So initially, I was doing like cybersecurity. That was kind of interesting, and then ended up in like wealth management division, and that was for like 4 or 5 years then. But I think early on when I got in, I was still kind of like, okay, I'm making like good money now all of a sudden. I need to figure out a way that like I don't need to do this for like 30, 40 years, you know? Because although I didn't mind the work, like being in that office and like the whole working until you're like 60 years old for like however many years of life after that,
It's
like,
crazy.
doesn't make sense to me, you know? So still not really knowing what I was going to do long term. I kind of was like looking at, okay, there was crypto that excited me a little bit because I was like, I nearly got rich there, you know?
Was it nearly?
Yeah. But I could see at least
How much
that,
would the return have been?
it would have been like 5 or 6 times what I had, but
That's still
that
good.
then ended up being like basically what I had at the beginning, at the end.
Can we get a figure?
I'd say I probably made like 30K,
What, you
but
could have
that would have been
30K?
big to me back then as well. That's again like,
That still is big.
yeah, that would have been like, but it's not like rich.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know?
rich. Yeah.
But it would have been
You want
like,
100Ks, 200Ks.
yeah, it would have
Want
been
that
like
milli?
my first five figures like turned into 30K. So I was
Yeah.
gassed at the time, but realized that like you can actually like grow your money basically. Started like looking into all investing properly and all of that. But also like in my team, I realized that there's like some people here that are like doing the bare minimum, but because they're working like externally and are actually like contracting into the company, they're making like way more money than I am. And even like credit to one of my friends, she's a bit older, but she like was actually just sound. She was straight up was just telling me like, look, I'm a chief of staff, so I make presentations like PowerPoints mostly and send emails for the higher ups. She's like, but I technically work for myself. So like I contract into the company, and she was just making ridiculous numbers.
How much?
Easy 6 figures, like easy. And like for what she was doing, like she's delighted, and even today, like she's so bright at this
And
crazy.
all she was doing was just sorting emails and everything out, but because she was a contractor, she got paid that bread.
Way more, yeah, because you're on like a daily rate then, so you actually make a lot more, like and you're getting paid by the hour. And tax wise, it used to be a lot better. You could just do it through your company and pay like very little tax. But at that point, then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. You know, I'm gonna get to a point where I can do this for whatever it is. But that still took like, I mean, the thing is, right? The reason that you get paid so much more is because you're considered to be an expert at what you do. So you can come in and consult. You know, like you're the guy that comes in and fixes a problem if there's a problem, sort of thing. So like I was kind of like, all right, I know nothing about anything right now. So like I need to like pick something and like get really good at it or get loads of experience, and then I can do that, you know. in my head, I was thinking when I'm like 34, 35, I'll be able to do that. But I was like, that's still long.
Yeah, for
Luckily, I ended up only taking me like 4 years from when I left uni to get to that point where I was able to go and do that. So that was a big game changer for me, to be honest.
Let's talk money, yeah? Let's talk money, because obviously it is your expertise, but we're not going to go into the budgeting and everything. We're going to go into the exciting things about money. So let me ask you this. For somebody who works with a lot of money, and obviously you're seeing a lot of money for yourself, and you're currently making how much a month?
It varies, to be fair.
It varies?
That's
What's,
the life
what's
of
been
an
what's been the
entrepreneur.
best month?
Probably, for working for myself, probably like 15, 16K. So
Big up, big up, big up, big
Yeah.
up, big up.
But to
Facts.
be fair, like,
You just say probably.
Try and keep it humble, try and keep it humble. I get it, I get
but
it.
Assumptive
genuinely though, like to me right now at this point in time, I've only been doing what I'm doing for myself for like a year. So like,
Does that not excite you?
it does, but like I know exactly like where things are going. So it's like, and the way that things have gone the last month or two, I just know that like that's just like the beginning basically.
Yeah.
But also like it wasn't necessarily like about like the money for me. The switch from like the corporate thing to do my own thing, because like basically, you know, I just said that like with the contracting, I eventually got there after like 4 years. At that point, my income went from like a guaranteed like 52K or whatever for the year to guaranteed over 160K.
Oh.
So like that happened in the space of 6 months. So like whole level up in terms of me having way more money to work with on my own.
So what did you do with that money? Cause I could imagine you're still young, and obviously, imagine someone saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna drop 150."
Yeah, that's
your
an extra 110 racks.
Like all I see is excitement. Like
Yeah, so I was gassed when that happened, to be fair.
yeah, I could imagine.
Because I'd been like investing a bit here and there, but I wasn't really earning like enough to do big things. So I think like in the space of like less than 18 months, my own like personal investing portfolio went from like 15, 16K to over 6 figures. So less than 18 months of just investing, that was like, at that point I was like, okay, I can actually do this. Help people do this, you know?
Yeah.
And from there, like, that's kind of that point where it gets easier from there as well, because you've got a serious foundation of like actual investments that are making you money to start. Like, just if you keep earning money at that point, it's going to just grow and grow.
Yeah.
But like, still like dropping that 160 grand salary and going off and doing my own business, like that's almost, looking back, I'm like, why did I do that, you know?
Yeah, when you got such a high salary job,
And it's guaranteed as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, but
plus like sick days and everything.
I'm guessing the reason he did that, he left, was for the freedom.
To be fair, that is basically the main incentive. But like, what they don't tell you about entrepreneurship is you're gonna be like probably working like a lot more, if anything.
Yeah.
Like now, I don't need to be in the office half the time. Like straight away, that was an advantage for me. And I get to travel around. I can work wherever I want, and I have been doing that for the last like 10 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So life is really good on that front, but if you want to make money, like you have to work in order to make it, you know, like taking loads of days off and like, you know, half-assing things isn't going to really get you anywhere. And I don't think people realize that like as an entrepreneur, you're probably going to be working way more than you are as like a corporate sort of thing. Like genuinely my hours are more now than like they were when I was making that money in the bank. Yeah.
But when you look at it from the outside, look at it in. If you had the choice to do it all again, which one would you pick?
Yeah, probably. I'd still do what I'm doing now because it's starting to work out really well. But I mean, I would have done it like if I could do it the last year, just knowing what I know now, it would have went like a lot smoother as well.
But isn't that a part of entrepreneurship? Like, I would say the first couple of months we started doing this, we didn't really know what we was doing. It's all just
we didn't have a clue.
figuring it out. I don't know an entrepreneur who knew exactly what to do from the get-go.
Yeah,
I don't feel like they never do.
So yeah, do you feel like obviously as you've gone through life and I've gone through this entrepreneurship, you've learned here, what to improve on, what could be improved?
I think it's like it's just it's a continual like learning process really. Like when I started, like you just said, like I knew what I could help people with, but I didn't know how to do it, or
How to do it,
marketing, or like hiring people. Like I had literally zero experience being an entrepreneur.
Because
So,
the content, some of the marketing you've done, which I see on my TikTok, very valuable. Always like it. Don't remember.
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
that. I rate you guys' content as well. It's so sick, the podcast stuff,
Thank
but
you,
even
man.
just your own things. But yeah, even all of that was a work in progress. When I started with that, like I think most of the reels are archived now, but even looking back, I was like, damn, that was poor quality. But one thing about that as well is like you can have value, and I'm like more than confident in my offering. Like I know I can help anyone at a certain point, like to grow their money. Like I'm like no issues on that front. But it's like making that into something that is like going to be picked up by people and everything. Like just because you're offering something good doesn't mean that it's going to be like sellable. Basically, you need to be able to market it. You actually have to be able to do sales. Like I actually did a bit of work with Trist. I think you had him on the thing as well.
In-house as well.
Yeah.
Did you do the boot camp?
Nah, I did more of like a consultant thing. So me and him just worked one-to-one together for a while.
Yeah. How was that?
Well, I mean, his whole thing is about cutting the crap.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, the first time we went through a sales call together, this guy just was brutal.
Oh, do you mean
he was
brutal?
just ruining me.
What was he?
every 2 minutes?
What was he saying?
No, you can't do this. You can't do that. No.
No way.
Oh, man. He was like, just absolutely cutting the crap every 2 seconds. Like, he was just telling me how it is. And I needed that, like, straight away my sales massively improved. Because, like, sometimes someone needs what you're offering. And they can even know that. But a price or like delivered the wrong way, or even just like something explained to them in the wrong way, will just mean that they just don't go for it, because human psychology is really like, there's a lot to it. And I think even just that one investment of doing sessions with him helped me loads find it really easy to sell to people now, because I always had confidence in what I was doing. Yeah. And it's just the way that I was portraying that to people was just not from a sales like perspective. I was just trying to tell them like as a normal guy, like, and it's just, there was a lot of like stuff that puts people off that you don't realize,
So obviously doing them one-to-ones with Tris, because obviously Tris literally in his bio has master in sales. So what would you say are 3 things you learned working with Tris about sales that have helped you generate more sales?
Yeah, so to be fair, he helped me with a few other things as well, just like branding and stuff. But
branding experts also in the bio as well.
Oh yeah.
Sales and branding expert.
So tonality is important, and something that was a weak area for me, because like I suppose it's partially the Irish accent, but also like my voice is kind of just like, I don't know if it's like monotone, but it's not like, I'm not like, like Tris will like go really high pitched at the time.
He projects his voice very well as well.
Yeah, he does.
That's the years of experience, So things like that helped a bit. Structure, but also being able to like actually respond to things, like objection handling. There's a lot of stuff, to be honest. I revamped my whole process up basically.
Did you have like a pitch, a step by step?
I do have a pitch. Generally, like, so the step by step, if you want the step by step.
Yeah.
And then we're just giving away. Everyone just jumps on the call.
Don't give away. Don't give away.
Like I've heard this pitch.
Yeah, it's reversed. But I'm guessing you revamped and everything. Yeah, you revamped the pitch and everything. Yeah.
But it is like, all I'll say is like, sales is a part of every business, no matter what. Even if your thing sells itself, you still like, it's still a part of the process.
If anything, if it sells itself more and you can sell it that bit more, the more likely you'll get more sales as well.
Exactly. And like, the thing with me is like, I was uncomfortable with the sales process because I felt like I was selling to people.
Did you?
Whereas like what I wasn't deep in is that like my shit helps people like a lot. Like every one of my clients that does a whole program with me like comes out and like, I even have guys lately who and weirdly, sales guys is like a common thing. I find I end up working with sales guys a lot because they make big commissions quickly and they don't know like what necessarily to do with the money.
Yeah.
So what I found is some of them decide, okay, I want to be able to put more money into what you're telling me, so I need to increase my income. So then, because they're already in sales, they rate what I did with them. They're like, okay, I want to sell this to people, so they go and do appointment setting for me or like closing for me.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for me because like, if you're trying to sell something to someone and you don't really know what you're talking about because you don't even use like the service, it's harder.
Yeah.
These people did my thing, have results, like genuinely think it's sick, and like are now going out and selling it. It's just way more authentic and way easier, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good sign of like how my service works as well. Too.
Yeah, it is, especially if you're getting sales guys who know they'll probably will close at the end for you as well.
Yeah,
and especially if the everything sells itself, just having someone who's definitely gonna put the pin in, that's it, lock it in. It's easy.
It's true, but I think on that front, like I think a lot of the people that I would have worked with being sales guys, I think they would have come onto the sales call and been like, wow, this guy sucks at sales. But I can see that he's genuine and like I can see the value, you know? So I think that's how I was probably closing people before.
So obviously when you was closing before, you obviously didn't have the sales experience. Was it more just, hey mate, I'm just trying to help you out if you're interested? It's not like, I'm just trying to help you out.
Nah, but it's just like, I think I still had the general like kind of concepts.
Yeah.
Like, even I think Valerie, my girlfriend, mentioned on you guys' thing that she'd done up a whole sales script.
Yeah.
That was kind of like...
We're still waiting on that link. Sorry.
Someone put that in the comments still. They're waiting for the link for that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Nah, that can't be shared. But nah, that was kind of like... That would have helped me initially. Like small things like that where I didn't know what I was doing, but at least I was trying to like follow some sort of framework. But I didn't realize how much bad I was doing, you know?
Yeah. That's sick, like for investing. So you sound like a man, or in fact, you are a man. He's made investments already. Tris Taylor. Is there anybody else you've invested in for mentorship, especially?
You know what? I think people my age, I'm a millennial, so like 29 at the moment. Like we're way more like hesitant with investing and things like that. Like even just like coaching and stuff like that. Like again, like it's something I wouldn't have done up until this year because like I wasn't even trying to invest in myself besides like actual investing, and I was working in a job, so like what was I gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
And even like I said to a guy I know the other day, like, oh, this is what people are paying me now for my program, you know? And he was like, and people pay that? I was like, bro, you know I'm providing a good service. He was like, oh, don't get me wrong, I rate that, but I've never given anyone that amount of money, you know? So I was like, yeah, I get where you're coming from, because that was me too. Nowadays, like once I started hiring people, once I started paying people to actually like teach me, the value and like the change that you get from it like is so worthwhile. Like even now I've just started working with another guy. He has like blown my mind in the first like session. Pause.
I was gonna say that's a big pause.
Yeah, pause.
That's a big pause. I was gonna say.
But in the first session, like he just showed me exactly kind of what I would have been. I knew like what I needed to do to progress my business, but this guy just made it so simple, so clear, and like just understood everything. And now like, and that's why I'm like happy about where.
There's that smile again.
That's why I'm like. Yes, I would still do the same thing because I know where things are going now as well. You know, that first year can be if you're doing that first year of entrepreneurship completely on your own, like most people, that shit is hard. You know, like I'm not surprised that people give up, and I think there's some crazy stat about how many people actually like drop entrepreneurship in the first like 6 months or something like that. I don't blame them because you're not getting it anywhere in that length of time. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, this new guy like. I was happy to give him my money, to be honest.
How much was he?
So I was happy.
Can we ask how much it was?
No. So it was 3.5k for, and that's like me having recently done sales, so I bargained a bit.
Oh, you bargained. See how you used to say 3.5k? Someone probably at home be like, wait a second, you paid 3.5k for some mentorship.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the thing is, how long is it?
So it's 3 months. So it's actually it's good value.
That's
yeah,
good,
I feel
yeah.
like that's great.
That's great. But obviously,
No, that's
so
a great
even if you
offer.
break that down to months, someone will be like, why are you paying 1.5k for
Yeah,
mentorship?
I hear that.
Like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't.
I understand as well, and that's what I'm saying. Like until you actually go and spend money and stuff like that, you don't realize like how much goes back. Obviously, I paid Trist as well. Like,
Yeah.
Even just from 1 or 2 sales call, that's that money back, and now that's something that I'm going to be able to utilize going forward. It's the same with this. Like I can already see the value coming back. Like even when I first started hiring like social media managers, things like that. Once you get the right person, like the value that you actually get out of investing money into things like that, like it comes back straight away. Like I found for me, and it could be just my mindset and things to do with money, but I found for me, like if I spend money, it generally comes back to me in that same month. So long as I'm spending something that's actually like
improving you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a sick mindset.
So there's one thing that you done that you spent a lot of money on, I'm gonna assume, because you used to save up and then do it for about like 6 months at a time. Traveling.
Oh yes. I didn't know where you were going with that one. You
Traveling.
caught me at Jan. I was like, wait, what's this guy?
This guy panicking is like, what do you know that I don't? Nah, man. So that's about your traveling experiences.
Yeah. So it's funny you mentioned from the like. I think where I got caught there was the spending side of things. 'Cause, like, yeah, I've spent money traveling, but also like, what I would pay in rent in London, like, generally does my whole expenses like most other places that I've been.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, like,
Well, it is London, but yeah.
yeah, it is London, yeah. But even like £1,000 goes a long way in like Thailand or like Africa, for example.
How long could you reckon £1,000 could last you in Thailand?
If you're actually like, it depends how you're living as well, you know. Like I'm at a stage of life where I want.
Okay, how
to be
you
like,
was living?
Okay, yeah, like less than a month to be fair, but that's still really good. You know what I mean? Like that's staying in nice places. Like I think like Val worked out like how much we'd spent in like one of our first months, and that was like there was like 6 5-star hotels stays in that same month, like eating and doing whatever we wanted, drinking, having like doing activities and stuff, and it was like £1,200 each. You know,
So I'm saying, that's chill.
that's living good, and like, you know, if you have a remote business, like once you start and you kind of have a bit of a feel for how it works, like making £1,200 is all right. You know?
Yeah. That's why
by anyone. Like, you know?
I spoke to Nero and he was just like, yo, being a digital nomad ain't too bad if you've got no like attachments to the UK. Like if you don't have a house that you're paying for, you can just actually go and chill and live out in Thailand.
Yeah, but you know what? Like one thing we realized towards the end is that like we at where we're at right now, we still like a little bit of like not routine, but like some sort of consistency with like gym. Just like
that's one
when you're moving about all the time and you don't necessarily have like a place where you work and stuff like that, it gets a bit hectic, you know. I think we got a bit fed up of just like working from random cafes and not being able to rely on the Wi-Fi, and like, you know, if I have an important sales call or I have a client that I'm working with, like, I want to know, like,
Panic?
Yeah,
how was it then? Like, did you ever have any important calls where the Wi-Fi was a bit?
Or just went down.
We just had to kind of plan ahead a little bit and try and be there. Yeah, like, you know, in South Africa they do like load shedding. You know what load shedding is?
What is that? Nah.
So basically,
I said, yeah, even though I don't
I know. I was thinking, why is he capping?
like over that side of the world, it's like they basically shut off the electricity like at set times, but the government does it like in order to like preserve the natural resources.
What?
So yeah,
no way.
Yes.
So what time did it shut
I don't
off?
know. It's so like in South Africa, it's scheduled at least. So like you'll know that, okay, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. no electricity. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
A few hours.
It happens like a couple hours, even like half the day sometimes.
Yo,
But
man
at
can't
least-
be a gamer over there, bro.
Yeah, no, genuinely, it does like people have generators and stuff,
Run
but
me
you
my
have to be
electric.
like making a certain amount of money to have one of them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, run me my electric, man. Yeah. Yo, I need my electric.
To be,
I need the Wi-Fi.
to be fair, weirdly, the Wi-Fi seems to stay on. It's like the only thing that stays on.
Oh,
Oh,
so,
the Wi-Fi
okay.
stays on?
In most places, yeah.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I don't know if they have like a battery backup or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say
or-
they probably.
I'm not sure how it works, but like there was a few times where I finished up a sales call, it just goes pitch black, and then but the Wi-Fi stayed on, so I'm just
So
like,
you're still on the call.
yeah, I'm
and
gonna
you-
be in the dark. Now.
Yeah, I'm in the dark.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Don't be alarmed.
that laptop better be charged. You know.
Yeah, we have to be like on job with that. But at least in South Africa, it's like scheduled, you know. Like in Zim, it's like it's a complete random thing.
Are
Like,
these men just turn it off whenever?
yeah, they just switch it off whenever. But also, it could be gone. It could be gone for like It could be gone for like 2 days.
So you could be
Genuinely.
you could be on a call with something important, and then next thing you know, hello, you hear me? Can you see?
Basically, yeah.
Has it happened to you?
And it wouldn't be Wi-Fi then in Zim as well. It's gone. Like, but,
In Zim, the Wi-Fi is gone,
What about
electricity.
like,
Well, like,
hotspot in your? Could you even do that?
yeah, that's the only alternative really. But you need to make sure you have battery in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better have like 5 power banks, bro, just
Oh,
fully
yeah,
charged.
Well,
and-
yeah. We did.
I think I was thinking you could just charge your phone with it.
We did go out with the power banks, but like, cause we were only in Zim for like 3 weeks, so I basically at that point, and I knew I was gonna be like meeting all of outside family and everything.
Yeah.
So like, and they'd warned me about like just electricity not being reliable. So like,
What about reception as well?
poor as well to be fair.
Yeah,
So
I think she told us that the
Yeah.
reception was terrible. Like
I
she
pre-
just had to go offline for a few days.
Yeah, I pretty much just like kind of wrote off. I was like declined in advance. I was like, I may be missing for these like 3 weeks potentially, which was all right because like at least you know like I'm usually flexible with them if they need to cancel and stuff like that. So you know, there's that mutual respect or whatever. But also like I was staying with like her grandparents and stuff in certain places, and they just don't have electricity like full stop.
Yeah.
It's like African countryside.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they were like all their food is like comes from fresh, as in like.
What did you learn while he's over there? I could imagine
Oh,
that's like a
loads.
completely different
Yeah,
environment.
facts.
Especially.
He
being
said,
especially. I learned a ridiculous amount of there. Like
What
it's
was
a
some of
massive
the things you
cultural
learned?
shock. Like it's mad being the only white boy in the village. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that must be.
Genuinely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like some kids and stuff everywhere we were going, they genuinely would just like, and then like the term is morongo, means like
White boy.
white
what's up?
man
White
basically. You know? So they'd be morongo, and like never having seen like a white person or like 5 years or something. You know, like
No
people would
way.
meet me. I was like felt like a celebrity, but like they were all really nice, and that's the good thing.
Yeah.
What did I learn? To be fair, like, because I'm kind of technically coming into their family, there's the expectation that you get involved and you have to do a lot of this stuff. So like naturally, it's African countryside. They like kill and eat their food a lot of the time, whether it's chickens, goats, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, and as that person coming into the family, you're expected to be the one to actually kill the animals.
Okay.
You know, I never killed nothing in my life, right?
So what
Did
So
you?
that was a bit mad.
So did they ever be like, yo, Kev, dinner's on you? Go on.
No, it's
Go
not
on,
even
go
that.
so-
It's more like okay, so one of them will go, they'll come back, they'll have like a goat tied to the tree or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's the dinner for the next day or two.
What,
whatever.
just hanging off the tree?
No, alive.
It's alive and
Alive.
hanging.
At that point, it's alive. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
damn, and you gotta go on.
So then, and they were all making jokes like, yeah, that's on you later. You know, you're taking care of him or whatever.
That's pressure.
And- yeah, bro. I don't know.
Did you
Do
do
you think I
it?
knew how to do that? When I went out
Did you
there?
do it?
I was panicking, but basically when it came to it, the uncles, they weren't gonna actually make me do it, you know. So what they did was, the second it got point to actually kill him, he just quickly did it, and then I was involved then in all the like skinning and all of that. You know?
okay, so-
How did they kill the goat? How did they kill it?
Just slit the knife. I'm
It's
guessing.
techie, yeah. So like,
Was it
if I was going back to Zim, the one thing that I would bring them as like a present is like a sharp knife.
Nice
'Cause
sharp.
Oh, they had a
these
blunt
men are
one.
using a blunting and like proper.
Oh,
Oh, they were. So the blood was just.
oh my days.
Yeah, I hope there's
long
no
process.
vegans watching.
Oh my
People
god.
are long
Yeah, it wasn't like. But to be fair, it's like over and
It should be
about.
one. Woof.
That's
Yeah,
what
it
I'm
should
saying.
be one, but it isn't one. Like,
Come on, die. Die.
Like, stop it.
I'll be thinking, what the fuck are they doing, man?
Like, you're an idiot.
Well, in fairness, if I had to, if I got just like stuck on like a deserted island or some shit now, and
You feel like you'd
and
be
if I could
right.
catch a goat, I'd be very confident being able to do the whole process,
No, that's good.
Which I guess is a
That's
good
like
thing. I hope it
survival
doesn't
skills.
happen,
You know what? I got no survival skills.
no,
So you get what I'm saying?
I just know Wi-Fi.
That's
what-
what either.
That's actually mad though. Would you like, because he was basically off the map for about a couple of weeks. What was did you even learn any like proper? Well, you did, but any even more survival skills?
Did you learn how to like
I'd be
catch fire?
I'm
with
definitely better at making a fire now. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yeah,
That's what I was
100%.
wondering.
How
But
did you
them man love barbecues as well, so like
everything barbecue? Every barbecue, every
barbecue pretty much all the
that
time.
sounds nice though. I got-
Braise basically.
That's
But so they're always doing up fires, and I don't know, like I knew how to make a fire, but now it's just like when I first started out there, I was like, all right, this is not going like well. You know what I mean? Like it took me a minute, but also just culturally, like all the meeting all the older people and stuff. There's different ways of like greeting people and everything. That was all really interesting. Learned obviously little bits of like shunna and stuff. Although that's like rusty, to be fair. Like, that's me having a couple of words, like But yeah, no, it was an amazing experience. Like out of all the traveling I've done, like that was the biggest like, wow, I'm learning shit.
I
here.
bet that's sick because not only did you build a stronger bond, obviously, with your girlfriend's family, also with the girlfriend, because like you basically part of the family now.
Yeah, man.
Basically
Get
part
to
of the
that.
family. What
Like
happened to them in
the OGs, you know.
You're basically family.
Facts. What? Oh, keep forgetting what I was gonna say, bro. Just never mind.
What?
Never mind. I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something related to that. Oh, I was gonna ask you in terms of exercise. 3 weeks. Obviously, there's no gyms around there. What did you guys do?
Bro,
Like,
I had to leave that country, the way they don't put the way they put salt and everything is different. Like
hella salt in it.
So-
Yeah, but
And
aside,
sugar, I'm
aside
guessing.
from that, there's just no sugar regulation. The Fanta and Zim is like the best thing ever.
To be
bro.
fair, that's like Jamaica, bro. The amount of sugar in their drinks, I just think, bro, you men are still alive. You know what I'm saying? No, I swear, how you been alive, bro?
Diabetes is a
proper-
real concern. like,
Bro, it's
Yeah.
sweet, bro. In them countries, it's sweet as hell, bro.
her nan, like she's diabetic, but like, and like the doctors kept telling her like, it's not getting any better. Like, well, you need to like, something's going wrong here. They kept talking to like the family and stuff.
Yeah.
Turns out our nan was getting a bus into town every other day and going to a chicken and cake shop, a shop that sells chicken and cake. And like they knew her as a regular in there, and I was like, "Yo, of course you have diabetes."
Chicken and cake.
No.
What the heck?
They're getting her with both, you know. They're getting her with both.
Get the fats in and the
The
sugar.
sugar, later put their salt on the chicken.
Oh,
Yeah, so like in terms of exercise, lacking that few days. At least it's really hot there. I feel like even just doing a little bit of work and stuff, you do get like.
yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was like, there's no one say, yo, let's go for a jog or let's squat with some like log on your back or something. You know what I'm saying?
nah,
Don't
they do
just-
the water
It's
thing,
even like too hot to even move.
Nah, to be fair, when we were there, it was technically winter, so it was like 30 degrees.
Okay, that's a vibe.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still hot.
Still hot.
30 degrees, bro.
I mean, I know I wouldn't last, but
Like, yeah, but like, no, and that's the thing. Like, no one in the family cared about sun cream except for me. Like, I'm there, like, being like, "Jeez, we're out in this." Man's in danger here. And everyone else is just not even knowing.
but they were looking at you like, what's that? What's he doing? With
Yeah,
the plate?
Well, you always put this on, man.
Yeah.
They got the gist, I think.
That's a sick experience.
Yeah, it was good. I can't lie. But also, like, another thing about Zim is like, gender roles wise, still.
Did you feel the
It's bu-
pressure for you when you came over there?
Nah, it's behind. Like, I wasn't doing any of the work, to be honest.
So what were like the gender roles you were seeing?
Yeah, so like,
Oh, I'm guessing.
it's just traditionally
Yeah.
and everything. Like, the women do all the cooking and the cleaning and like all the stuff around the place. The men will, if there's something that needs to be killed, they kill it basically. Other than that, the lads are just drinking and like lying around all day, really, and just having chats. And the women do all the work. It's a bit mental, to be honest.
What, all the work while the man's just
Basically.
That's what it's cocked up.
Basically, to be honest,
Wow.
like obviously we're coming from the UK and our brothers and stuff came over as well and met us. So like we were trying to like level the playing field a little bit, but it's hard. Like you're breaking like a complete like cultural like setup there, you know. So
Yeah, that must be weird. They're like, why are you helping me, bro?
yeah, basically, and like you know they like before they serve you your food and like the women and like wash your hands and everything like in a thing.
Oh, they wash your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
that's a blessing.
You know, like that.
To
Yeah.
be fair though, like I felt bad, but like
That's just their
it
way,
wasn't
isn't
bad.
it?
It was nice anyway for me.
Yeah.
I had a good few weeks. Like,
That
That's
sounds
a
like
whole
an
new-
all-inclusive everything done for you, bro. I wanted to ask you, what's like your favorite like place that you've been to that you would want to live?
that I would want to live.
Yeah, because you've been a lot of places: America, Vegas,
Yeah.
Thailand.
To be fair, there's loads of countries that I wouldn't live in, you know. So like a lot of the ones in Asia, I really like them. They're like really good for like a certain amount of time, but I don't know. I did get a bit like fed up of a lot of those, and some of them are just too hectic anyway. Like
How you mean?
there's just too much going on. Like even the likes of Thailand stuff. Thailand is unreal. If you're on the islands, it can be nice and chill, but there's always that like party element. There's always like you might get gripped up by like a lady boy as you're walking down the street sort of thing.
Oh, they're real.
Yeah, but like, so that like all that side of the world, like I'm happy to like travel different places and stuff, but I don't think I'd be living there. I think the one place that we were maybe about is like South Africa.
Yeah.
It has a bad reputation, but like,
What's the bad reputation?
I mean, all I ever hear is bad stories about it being unsafe and like Johannesburg and things like that. But
What's that?
Johannesburg, it's like I think it's the capital of, or it's one of the main cities in South Africa. But there's just people will tell you just crazy things about it that you can't go out there at night and stuff like that. But we were staying mostly in Cape Town, and to be honest, it was just beautiful. It was really nice. Everything's really cheap. It's like, if I was just one thing about it that was crazy is that like you can get like the best like fine dining imaginable, like a 5-course meal with 5 courses of like wine for like £25,
What?
which is ridiculous.
25. I'll be there every night, boy.
I paid £12 just for some one meal.
Some average
Yeah.
thing.
Yo, some fish and chips up there is £12, bro.
It's £12?
Yeah,
Say
but that's,
so.
what do you think I'm getting a kebab meat and shit?
Oh,
12 for some fish and chips. Come
I
on,
thought that
bro.
would have been the special. Like, yo, put that on a nice price.
Facts.
So since I came back, I left for 1 year, you know, and the whole time, like obviously because of my business and social media and stuff, I'm talking about the cost of living, inflation, but I wasn't feeling it, you know.
Yeah, because you were
Since
out
I came
there.
home, I was like, yo, the meal deals are this much now, you know. It's really-
The meal deals you probably use around £3, innit?
They were £3.
Yeah, the £3.90 now about a club card.
Yeah, they're basically
Yeah.
£4, bro.
Yeah, basically.
£4.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. No, even today, today is the first time I got a meal deal since I came back, and I was like, why isn't it registering? You know?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I genuinely was like, it can't be $3.90, you know? It doesn't make any sense.
That's
Killing it, man.
So I wanted to hit you with my personal question. I might have two. Should I ask him both?
Go on, ask them both.
What's your biggest regret?
It's funny, you know, because I think, you know, obviously I spoke about, like the younger people nowadays are doing the most businesses and everything. Back then, like, I was doing the least. Like, I genuinely don't even regret that, you know? Like,
You don't?
not really, because, like, those
It
were
was
some
fun.
of the best years of my life. Like, I had so much fun. I did a lot of traveling back then as well. I don't really feel like I regret much of that, to be fair. It would have been nice if I'd been making a little extra money from early, but
Yeah.
I can't really complain now based on where I am. You know, it's not something I would go actively regretting. Sticky one still. You know what?
You got
I
none.
could take the cop out answer and just say like I just don't. I don't
Don't
think there's
regret
any point in
anything.
regretting anything. Like there's some amount of stuff that I would have said like a couple of years ago, but like as you kind of get a bit older, it's just like you regretting that and putting your energy into it doesn't actually help you at all. You know, like everything that, even the stuff that I'm like, there was no value add there, but like, or that was a terrible period in my life, you know. It's like, regardless, that all of that kind of leads to where you are now, and like certain bad moments probably ended up being like making me more resilient, you know. If I was like living on the street now, I probably would have a load of regrets, but if you're in a place where
you
you
living
can be
nice
happy,
now.
yeah,
Living
not
nice.
on the streets, that's for sure. But like, you know, if you're in a place where you're happy with everything that's going on, like why would you focus on regretting anything else? You know?
True. And my second question is, what's 7 things that you can't live without?
7 things.
Yeah.
That was a list.
And Valerie can't be one. Because that's the cop out.
That's a cop. I feel like I have to say that as one.
To be honest, she had you on Alice.
I did shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fair.
He's like, I'm him.
Necessity, you know.
She probably wasn't. Give me a check later.
Okay. Jeez, I'm struggling already, you know. I haven't even named one.
What do you?
Do you want Valerie to be one, yeah?
Go on, we'll give you the cop out.
Yeah, we'll give you-
That is one, thank God. I'm struggling here. I think like family. My family is pretty important to me, to be fair. Like, I didn't really get along with all of them when I was growing up, but like all my sisters and stuff mean the world to me now. So, and they're always there during any tough times too. Definitely family. It's a little bit of a cop out as well.
I could imagine you missed them as well, probably while you was away on holiday.
Yeah, I find like
Christmas and
Christmas. It sucks being away for Christmas, to be honest. You never get Christmas the same as you do at home, like, you know?
Yeah.
But one thing I'd say is like, you know, because I was hopping from country to country every other month, like you always are put in different environments. You can't necessarily like rely on having like the gym or like certain foods or your like friends or anything, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like there's a lot that like I would be like I couldn't live without that, you know? Do you ever get asked that? What are yours?
I know we've never asked each other that.
Yeah, we've never asked.
Yeah, I'd be interested. Like, it's a hard one to answer.
Okay, it's interesting. What would you? Some question, 7 things you can't live without.
7 things I can't live without.
Yeah.
Alright.
You don't even know.
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
YouTube's definitely one.
You better have YouTube Premium if that's your answer.
You know what?
You know what? That's a good
Actually, don't. It's free. YouTube's free, man. I'll watch the ads. Don't watch the ads.
Nah, you know one thing I realized is closing that app and just letting it run.
Oh, yeah,
It's the best thing ever.
That's one thing
YouTube
that I wish I
Premium is
could.
underrated.
One thing I wish I could do still.
Yeah.
Just close the app and just listen. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
actually good. Just
But yeah, YouTube, because your entertainment, education, amazing. Plus it's free.
The fact they made that feature, that's kind of mad when I think about it.
Yeah.
Could have get that for free.
I say my phone, just because business. I'd have to say my laptop as well, because that's business, editing.
I'm gonna
Yeah, he's
take
like,
that
I'm
as
getting
well.
it, I'm getting
You
it.
need that still. I agree.
I'd have to say, obviously, family as a whole unit. I'm not gonna list them all out. I do say my girlfriend.
Big up.
Yeah, and I do say Kai still. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he fancies me, man.
Nah, 'cause you know what it is with Kai? He's always like, yo. Obviously, I'm still gonna keep doing this entrepreneurial stuff, but then obviously the podcast.
No, you said you can't live without him.
Yeah, I can't.
That's deep.
I can't, bro. I can't because yo, he'll send me a message like, yo, just lick 2 sales, 5 sales, and I'm like, yo, shit, my guy. And then obviously he's trying to put me on, and I'm like, you know what, I respect it.
That's good.
So
you need that,
yeah, amazing friendship. How many was that? 5, 6? One more.
Come on, there's something you haven't mentioned which I thought you would have mentioned from the start.
I would have mentioned.
You good?
Really?
Started all of this.
What, the podcast?
Not the podcast.
What is it?
You picked it or you bought it one day.
The camera. I can't forget the
You can't
camera
forget the
still.
camera.
That's yo. Obviously
your
on
bread and
YouTube.
butter.
That is
And
his bread and butter.
that is my bread and butter still.
Even
And,
I
and,
was
my,
like,
and my
come on.
content goes on YouTube as well.
what
And the
I'm
podcast
saying.
content, yeah. That's
Everything goes
YouTube,
fine.
camera, phone, MacBook. That's my humble abode right there. So.
That's fair.
Alright, what's yours?
Me? Oof. I'm very selective of the family. I like them all, but there's some people I can't live without.
I just said family as a whole.
People
bro.
getting binned.
I'll probably say my mum and my brother. You know, just because I live with that's the team. My boys, including AJ on top. No offense, guys, if you're watching this. No offense.
AJ on top.
Pause. Has to be a pause. He wasn't gonna pause.
I wasn't gonna pause. AJ.
I might clip that up.
No, it has to stay in there.
Definitely.
Does it make it a clip?
If it wasn't,
definitely.
if it wasn't for AJ, I wouldn't be here right now. Let's just say that right now.
Fair.
Pause. I would be alive. I'm just saying I wouldn't be here right now. YouTube University, man. I spend probably half my life on YouTube.
YouTube is the goal, bro.
For real, I would say I don't know if this is something I can live at, but having the mindset where I love learning, anything I'm interested in, like if I really like it, I'm gonna put my heart and soul to learn it.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. To be fair,
books. I didn't realize how interesting books were before. I'm in school. You're giving me dead books like
this is what I
Macbeth.
was saying,
If
bro.
I knew about these books that had me feeling like in a state of awe, I'd be like, yeah, I would have read a lot more.
You know what you read and you're like, oh, I learned something.
Yeah,
oh, my days,
something
that's
like,
information I never
or something
seen.
like that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
why you get what I'm saying.
To be fair, I think if you're talking about even regrets, I wish there's some books, if you give me them when I was like 5-6 years old,
You know,
change your whole life.
Change your whole life. So
saying,
you
man.
understand the books
You
should
know
have been
what I'm
around
saying?
from time, and just I would say a skill which I have, which I probably couldn't live without, probably wouldn't work as well, is having the ability to be able to communicate with
I
people.
knew he was gonna say that.
Having that is just
Nah, that's an important
that's
skill.
a great skill.
I feel like if you
could
can't
literally meet a
communicate-
woman and just
It's
start
essential,
talking. Well,
isn't it?
not a woman. Let's give a touch.
I know, so why would you
Anyone.
say a woman?
And just
Why's it gotta be a girl guy? Come on then.
No, that's a good,
Build
that's
that
a,
rapport,
that's a good
man.
one as well.
Yeah.
Because also you can't be running a podcast and not being able to communicate.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
facts.
it actually applies to everything in life, really.
Yeah, communication is necessary.
But how are you finding it? Because only reason I think how long you been creating content now? I understand you're trying to build that.
Probably only like 5-6 months, but I was before as well. But like even just like on Snapchat, and like, that's where like most of the people are like actually like really fucking my shit.
How did you find it? Obviously, because now you got the proper subtitles and everything. That's where you get that. That's your standard now.
Yeah.
And I could imagine coming on camera. It wasn't easy. I would say now you're just smashing it.
Yeah, well, like if you'd asked me like a couple of years ago, what's my like weakest point, it probably would have been like public speaking. So like I just hated all of that. Whereas now, genuinely, like as my business grows, I know there's a lot of things I want to do, but like more like actual speaking in front of like audiences and stuff. I've realized that I'm actually like sick of that when I get the like opportunity basically to talk about what I actually know, because people just what I've realized is that people just don't know what I teach. And like, it's a good feeling when you're going through something with someone or an audience, and they're like, "Wow, like I genuinely didn't know that," and it like tweak something in their heads, and you're like, "Okay, well, like clearly this is like making an impact."
Yeah.
So I want to do more like impactful stuff like that. But overall, like just that getting in front of the camera and stuff, I hated it. Now I'm getting used to it. I just thought like that was one thing I'd say is if you're trying to like do anything like that, any content or anything like that, or anyone wants to do something and they're like, I can't do that. You actually can do anything if you actually just practice and like just go and do it. Like I just thought that was something I was never gonna be able to do or be comfortable with, and now I'm like so much more comfortable with it. And like I think it's improved like a lot. So stick at it and don't like tell yourself that you can't do something, because your brain will.
Mad thing is, I met this guy. I don't know if he said he was mentored by Kev. I don't know his name. He's a young black lad. Does the video editing.
Yes, Jez, I don't know.
Wacom?
I actually
don't know his name. And he was doing video editing. Then he said you put him in contact with the Gen Z boys.
I think his name starts with a J or something.
I think it starts with a J.
G I don't know.
I'm sure it's not Wacom. It begins with a J though.
Oh, it probably
does it?
probably is.
It probably-
Is he young?
Yeah, he's
I
young.
actually don't know
he
his
edited a
name.
few of your videos.
He
said he edited
oh,
This was
Jez.
a while back.
Jez?
Yeah, something like that.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's kind of mad, you know how? Because he was like to me from there. He's like, yo, met this mentor Kevin. From then I've been able to just do edits, and he was asking me for advice. And every time I was like,
He's
just
asking
like
me
that,
as well.
You impacted his life.
One thing,
positively.
genuinely, I know I have, because like he tells me, like he messages me and updates me and stuff. I did one 30-minute call with him, and just genuinely like all I was going to do is help him, because I was like, all right, this isn't my, like, straight away I was like, he can't really, like, he's not level to afford what I'm trying to do. He's not even able to, like, invest in some of the stuff that I would show him, because he's not even 18 yet, you know? So I was like, let me just help him with what he needs, and then, you know, he might come back to me eventually or whatever. But I liked the helping anyway, especially at that point when I had a bit more time. Like, he went away and literally just actioned every single thing that I told him, like, straight off the bat. And, like, weeks later, he was making plenty of money from video editing, and even he just went and learned a skill. We kind of went through it on a call, figured out that he could maybe do this. And he wants to do property eventually, so I connected him with Denzel. And then, man, he ended up video editing for them in exchange for, like, property mentorship. It's just like, it all made sense. I knew what he needed to do straight away, but it's like the fact that he actually went away and took action is the most important thing. Because I've worked with people as well where I'll tell you need to do X, Y, Z after the first session and learn or read through, like, something. And, like, a lot of people don't realize that, because on the system where I put up all my files and videos and things that they get access to when they start the program, like, I can see that if you've opened it, you know. So, like,
You got the analytics.
So it's like, I know then the next week when I'm asking you about it, you're just capping, you know.
They're like,
I'm like, oh yeah, you read that, did you? Yeah, I know you didn't. You know? And then it's just like, it's just sometimes.
You got me.
Sometimes you actually have to, like, hold people accountable to actually doing the stuff, and that's why I find, like, the people that have paid me more in terms of, like, my fees as they've gone up over time, they're the ones that get the most value, because they're emotionally attached to what they've actually paid for, you know.
I feel like, especially paying you more as well, it's a bigger commitment. And then obviously when they see the results they're getting, they're like, yes, let's keep paying, let's keep doing exactly this.
And, like, also I've worked with people where I've done maybe, like, a value exchange, or so, like, if I really rate someone's thing, and, like, it's worked out a couple of times where, like, someone's like, oh, I really like what you're doing, I'd love to, like, do that. And I'm like, okay, I actually really rate what you're doing, so maybe we can do some sort of trade-off here. I've done that, but because neither of us is actually, like, parting with our money, I find we end up, you know, after a couple of sessions, we're rescheduling, we haven't gone about it, because there's not that emotional investment which you need. And, like, also, you know, with just my business as a whole, right? Like, my genuine main intention is to get it to a point where all these clients that I have now, or over the past year and coming up, I want as many of them as possible to get to a stage where they can be, like, a client for, like, the bank that I used to work for. You need to have, like, minimum, like, 150 to 100 grand just spare cash lying around to even open a bank account. And generally it's only, like, millionaires and billionaires, to be honest.
With them?
Yeah, with the wealth.
That's bread that is just to open a bank account.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's, like, without nothing else included. Like.
What sort of bonuses you get if you spend 50k with them?
Well, to be fair, it depends.
Are you allowed to speak about it?
But no, well, like, so basically, just to open a bank account, you need to have that spare cash. You're not paying that. That's just what you need to have, like, available.
Okay.
But also, like, I mean, I don't really talk about the bank specifically that I used to work for, because non-disclosure elements and things like that. But, like, they recently had some rough times, basically. So, like, these banks and, like, everywhere else that you see, like, that you think is, like, the top of the top of the top, like, things are a lot more normal than you would expect. It's not as high level as necessarily you really think. Like, you know, when I was on about the contracting, there was one guy, when I was just starting out, he was a contractor in my team. He was probably, like, 40 odd years old. This man used to go during work hours, when he's getting paid by the hour, used to go to the Canary Wharf Library and just lie down and nap with no alarm, nothing. And whenever he'd naturally come out of his nap is when he'd go back to work.
What? So man's just
He just go over naps every single day without fail. He just disappears, and he could come back 50 minutes later. He could come back 3 hours later. It was just whenever he'd naturally wake up. It's crazy.
Man,
And because he's a contractor, he's just...
Yeah, so, like, he's getting paid by the hour. He's getting absolute crazy money, but, like...
Do you ever get in trouble for that?
See, like, it was, like, a known thing. And, like, it was so funny as well, because I left that team after a while. And then when I went into the wealth management side of things or whatever, I seen that they'd hired someone new. It was this guy again. So my new team, and I was like, oh, I should have said something. Obviously not, but yeah, like all I'd say is like it's not as like amazing. Like these people don't have the world figured out either. Like
Yeah, as in, yes.
it's not just because it's like they're managing crazy amounts of money doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you'll get the best results. But what I want to do is just get people to a point where that's an option. They have that sort of money, Because genuinely, if I work with someone when they're young, even like you lot's age, like, and you have like money coming in on a regular basis, I just know if you follow exactly what I tell you, like you'll retire ridiculously earlier than you would otherwise, and like after a certain point, like working will literally just be an option for you because you'll have an investment portfolio that's paying for your life, basically.
Okay, so if I start making 10K a month, give you a call.
Come true, for sure.
If I start making 10K a month,
it doesn't even
watch
need
that
to be
podcast
that
with Stephen Bartlett, and he's talking about the finance guy one.
Yeah.
And obviously, you already know we're talking about financing, obviously, and everything. So if I started making 10K a month, come see you, and you'll give me some advice on investments, and I'll be able to make that back. Some education. Yeah.
So basically, to be honest, you don't even need to be making 10K a month. What I tell people is, if you have a minimum of like 10 to 15K, that's where we can maybe we'll speak together and work through it and see if it makes sense.
Okay.
And like if you just have that and you have no more income, then it's probably not going to make sense,
Okay.
Because that's like a bulk of that will go to even just emergency fund. And the more money that you have, the better. But also, like even if you're like on the right track, I can still teach someone the theory, and they'll have access to my educational like materials for as long as they need. They can and it gets updated with new stuff as well. They'll always kind of have that there. So it's not like a be all end all if you don't have the funds.
Yeah.
But it's just like at the same time, I want to make it as worthwhile for them as it is for me.
Because you speak about a lot of money, and obviously I'm guessing you're around money a lot. What does money actually mean to you?
That's a good question, And I actually ask people this as well, so that's funny.
You say you ask you for this.
I know in onboarding, I'll always ask someone that because it tells a lot about what people say. But like genuinely, like for a lot of people, money is just the be all end all. It's the goal, that should never be the case, because like if that's just your goal, like it's not going to work out for you. For me, money is literally just a tool that pays for like the freedom that I want. So like I don't have like aspirations of X amount of money. I just want to be able to achieve and the freedom and the lifestyle that I actually just want to live, So yeah, money is literally just a tool to get there. Like I could go really deep with it. Like I've done a few things with like Nero as well, like his course and stuff. So like he would tell you it's energy and it's a tool as well, and that basically like it'll come to you if you were in the right mindset and stuff. But for me, it's just the means to an end. Like,
can you touch on
if you can be happy without making a lot of money, then fair play. Like that's ideal. I'd love to be in that position, But nowadays, unfortunately, you need a certain amount of money to live a certain type of lifestyle, and like I think it's something like 80% of UK citizens has less than like £500 in their bank account. Like there's going to be
80% of UK citizens
less than £500, but that's like you'd hope that some of them would have money elsewhere,
Yeah.
But still a lot of them won't. And like
that's paycheck to paycheck.
Anything with that, you can't live here with that. Like how are you like sustaining yourself even?
Some men are just surviving, innit?
Especially if you had like the pressures of a kid as well.
Oh no, that would be terrible too. That's terrible.
No, honestly,
it's tough these days, man.
With a family as well, it's a big thing. Like I work with some people who have families and kids, and it's like I don't know how they're getting by really with this current situation.
Yeah, wouldn't that be like a difficult situation? Because obviously the money you would say probably make an investment in or save, which is the money they'll have to actually use for their kid maybe.
Yeah, so this is the thing, like, and that's why I don't work with anyone on a one-off basis, because I don't know the circumstances of their situation. So like one of my clients, he recently, like he's in a bit of a tough time financially, to be honest with you. He was from when I met him, like really bad, and most of that is from divorce. But like he told me the other day that Lloyd's rang him up, his bank, and were like, "Oh, you need to be making sure that you're like investing £50 a month into the stock market." And I was like, I didn't get the full details from him, but I was like, this is like makes no sense, because the man has a whole load of credit card debt, so it doesn't make sense for him to be investing at all. And like I'm just like, have they not considered that? Like what? Also the stock market, like what does that even mean? Like,
I was about to say
he could invest in anything and lose money, and it's just like, it's things like that just make me realize that like what I do is needed basically, and like I'm hoping that over time we get to a point where people will have more than £500 in their bank accounts.
Yeah, facts.
You thought about starting YouTube? As in doing like a long video
I swear I told you to start.
Yeah, I think
long video breakdowns on like certain points.
So to be fair,
I urged him, bro.
To be fair, Adara's actually created my channel now. So
that's a big shout out, Adara.
Yeah, shout out to Adara for sure. She's an absolute lifesaver. But so she created an outline. Currently, I'm just repurposing reels into shorts.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Long form, it's definitely there, but like in terms of like plans going forward, I'm going to be doing books, like financial education books, investing books. I want to have my own clothing brand as well, related to investing.
Casey Capital.
Nah, because that's to be honest with you, I'm stepping away a little bit from that. Like that's the company behind what I do. That's where it all started. But like I want to kind of drag out the personal brand a little bit more.
Okay.
And like, to be fair, I don't really want to give you the name for my clothing brand.
Just
in case,
That's how you know it's a hard name.
Just pop out at you, man. I got this thing, so I can give you the name now.
I want to be doing like more talks, more like working with companies and things like that. But that's all in the works.
That's sick. Well, Kevin, it's been great to have you on, my bro.
Yeah, thanks.
That's right. I'm glad to meet you.
Pleasure, and keep doing what you man are doing as well. I absolutely love it. You're changing the podcast game. So sick to see.
Appreciate it. Just warming up.
Just warming up.
Yeah,
really
you can see that too. Just getting started.
Man. Literally, it's just like you in this entrepreneurship game. I had no clue. Coming up to a year now, I think this is where we actually start to kickstart different things now. On doing this podcast.
Yeah, that's why I said I had to get in early.
I had to make sure I got on this.
Nah, don't worry.